tragic double murder of Bibaa Henry and Nicole Smallman is a story that begins not with violence, but with a celebration. A brief, desperate attempt to clutch at normalcy during a time when the world was gripped by pandemic-induced fear.
It's beautiful. I can't believe we haven't done this sooner.
The date was June 6, 2020, and the setting was Friant Country Park in northwest London, a vast expanse of green that on that night would become a cold, silent tomb. The sisters Bibaa Henry, a compassionate and dedicated 46-year-old social worker from Wembley, and her half-sister, Nicole Smallman, a vibrant 27-year-old photographer and artist, shared an unshakable bond. Bibaa, described by her family as a passionate advocate for safeguarding vulnerable children, and Nicole, known for her artistic talent and boundless warmth, had chosen to commemorate Bibaa's birthday.
When are you free to grab coffee next week?
A small rebellion against the dreary restrictions of lockdown. They transformed a remote corner of the park with blankets, cushions, and the whimsical glow of battery-operated fairy lights. A scene of pure, unadulterated joy captured forever in the last photograph on Bibaa's mobile phone, showing them dancing together at approximately 1:15 a.m. The last external communication was Nicole's text to her boyfriend, Adam Stone, just minutes earlier, confirming their innocent, late-night revel. This moment, frozen in time, serves as a poignant, haunting prelude to the horror that followed.
I need help immediately.
The true horror began with the dawn when the sisters failed to return
Please send someone
home.
right now.
Their mother, the venerable
Missing
Wilhelmina
adults.
Smallman,
We'll log
a
it.
retired archdeacon in the Anglican Church, a woman whose faith was about to be tested.
We can't
in the
wait
most
for them.
profound way.
We have
Grew
to find them
instantly anxious.
ourselves.
Adam Stone, Nicole's partner, felt the same dread, reporting his concern to the Metropolitan
Nicole!
Police. What followed was a devastating initial failure of the system. Despite the immediate and growing alarm from the family, police classified the sisters as simply missing adults and failed to dispatch officers for a full, high-priority search. This delay, later criticized as potentially racially motivated and certainly dismissive, a failure the family ascribed to a systemic lack of care for two black women in a notorious area, forced the family to take the investigation into their own hands. It was the family and their friends who bravely scoured the park's dense undergrowth. It was Adam Stone's father who made the grim discovery, spotting the bloody, discarded knife and the telltale path of crushed grass leading to the concealed bodies, tightly intertwined in a final, heartbreaking embrace. The sheer brutality of the attack. Bibaa stabbed 8 times, Nicole sustaining a staggering 28 wounds as she fought desperately, underscored the vicious, premeditated nature of the crime. The sight of their 2 daughters, 2 women full of life and promise, reduced to crime scene evidence, instantly shattered Wilhelmina Smallman's world, setting her on a collision course with grief and an unexpected fight for institutional justice. The subsequent investigation by the Metropolitan Police's Specialist Crime Committee rapidly led to the perpetrator through forensic evidence. DNA found on a latex glove and the murder weapon was traced to 18-year-old Danyal Hussein of Blackheath. Hussein was no typical
We are
killer.
here to offer
His
support
motive
and
was drawn
guidance,
from a realm
not
of pure,
judgment.
calculated
This
delusion.
program is entirely
The most
voluntary
damning
and
evidence
confidential.
unearthed during a search of his bedroom was a blood-signed covenant titled The Agreement, a diabolical contract with the mythical entity King Lucifuge Rofakale.
This document clearly
This meticulously
demonstrates
handwritten
premeditation
pact outlined
and a
Hussein's
chilling
commitment
intent.
to an escalating campaign of vengeance. He would perform a minimum of 6 human
The
sacrifices
DNA
every
evidence
6 months
confirms that
to
the
win
blood
Mega
found at the
Millions
scene
Super Jackpot,
belongs to the
which he
accused.
desperately coveted as a means to gain power and wealth. This was not the act of spontaneous murder, but a meticulously planned ritualistic killing, preceded by the purchase of a block of knives, balaclava, and shovels, tools for a planned sequence of atrocities. The court heard how, in the days following the murders, Hussein frantically spent significant amounts of money on lottery tickets, futilely trying to claim his promised financial reward, demonstrating his unwavering belief in the Pact.
Unbelievable.
Hussein's radicalization exposed a terrifying chasm in counter-extremism efforts. He had been referred to the government's Prevent program at the age of 15 due to his interest
Having
in
considered
far-right
all the arguments, it
ideologies
is the
and
judgment of
extreme
this court that you are
material,
guilty
but
as
was
charged.
discharged after a
I
year.
hereby sentence you to a
The trial
mandatory minimum
revealed
of
his deep
15
immersion
years.
in the work of E.A.
Your
Coden,
actions were a
real name
betrayal of
Matthew
the public
Lawrence,
trust
a
and
self-proclaimed
a
black
profound
magician based
act
in Utah,
of disrespect.
whose online cult promoted satanic
My
practices,
daughters deserve
extreme
justice,
misogyny,
and
the
I
use of
will
ritual
not
murder for
rest
personal
until
gain.
we have it.
Coding, whose instructional books
Let
on
me be
demonic
clear.
pacts and
We
sacrificial
will
rites
not
were
back
easily
down.
accessible online
Not
and
now,
even sold through major
not
retailers like Amazon,
ever.
directly inspired the structure and intent of Hussein's agreement. This revelation shifted the focus of the case from a singular act of violence to a condemnation of the digital ecosystems that incubate and proliferate extremist ideologies, turning vulnerable minds into lethal weapons. The fear that Hussein was merely the first in a planned campaign was palpable. Prosecutors stated unequivocally that had he not been apprehended, he would have continued his horrific sacrifices. The public's horror was amplified manifold by the subsequent scandal of police misconduct. Two police constables, PC Denise Jaffer and PC Jamie Lewis,
Look at that
who were tasked
lovely
with guarding the
yellow.
murder
You're
scene,
doing so
committed
well.
an unforgivable
And what have
act
you
of
got
betrayal.
there?
They abandoned
That
their
looks
duty to take multiple
wonderful.
photographs
Look
of
at
the
his
dead
funny
sisters'
little
bodies,
hat.
including
Isn't that
selfies
silly?
with the victims'
He
husbands.
looks like a
They shared these
bumblebee.
vile images with at least 18 people via WhatsApp and other platforms,
We must create
using
a
degrading, heartless
society
language,
where
such as
women
calling
are
the victims
safe
dead birds.
and respected.
This was not just a lapse in judgment, it was a profound act of dehumanization. For Wilhelmina Smallman, the news of the officer's actions,
She called
which
me
she
just
learned
before
about 2
midnight.
weeks after the murders,
She said he was
a
there,
second,
shouting again.
excruciating loss.
I
She
told her to
testified
lock the
that the
door.
officers had violated her daughters all over again, stripping away the final
I
vestiges
miss you
of their
both
dignity.
so much.
The investigation by the Independent Office for Police Conduct, IOPC, found not only Jaffer and Lewis guilty, but also identified other officers who received the photos and failed to challenge or report them, indicating a wider, toxic culture within the Metropolitan Police. Jaffer and Lewis were subsequently sentenced to 2 years and 9 months in prison for misconduct in public office and were dismissed from the force. A rare criminal
We
conviction
must
for serving
demand
officers
change.
that underscored the
We
gravity of
must
their crime.
demand justice.
Wilhelmina Smallman's journey through the ensuing years has been defined by an unwavering pursuit of systemic justice.
We demand
As a
equal
retired
rights
archdeacon,
now.
her spiritual strength allowed her to express forgiveness for Danyal Hussein, stating, "I refuse to let hatred hold me captive." However, she drew a clear line when it came to the police officers, declaring that she could not forgive the men who violated her children, as their actions were a deliberate institutional cruelty. She became a prominent, tireless campaigner, demanding that the Metropolitan Police Commissioner at the time, Cressida Dick, acknowledge and rectify the deep-seated issues of misogyny, racism, and institutional failure that she believed led to the initial delayed response and the subsequent vile misconduct. Her powerful voice turned the tragedy into a national conversation on women's safety and police accountability, especially in the wake of other high-profile cases involving male violence and police betrayal, such as the murder of Sarah Everard. The legacy of Bibaa Henry and Nicole Smallman is now inextricably linked to this fight, a testament not to how they died, but to the extraordinary mother who continues to honor their lives by seeking to ensure that no other family must endure such a horrific confluence of violence and institutional indifference. The sisters, celebrated for their zeal for life, became accidental martyrs in a national crisis of conscience.